Just somebody, I don't know how long it's been since they've scored 20 points in a football game. They've lost now 8 in a row. Going back to last year, so they lost their last 6 in a row. And they've now lost 8 in a row. And they looked uncompetitive in the second half.
I could absolutely see a total house cleaning. And it could happen before the end of the year. But
Well. Things are heating up fast in Cleveland, and the latest reports are making waves across the NFL world. Insiders are spilling the beans, saying the Browns might actually be considering getting rid of both Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry before the end of this season. That's right. The head coach and the general manager could be on the chopping block after what has been one of the ugliest runs in Browns history. Ken Carman didn't hold back, saying the Browns are in the worst form they've ever seen, pointing out the 6 straight losses to close out last season, and now 2 more losses right out of the gate this year. And Anthony Lima added to the fire, suggesting that even though it might feel a little early, the writing could already be on the wall. If things don't turn around soon, Cleveland could be preparing for a massive shakeup that sends Stefanski and Berry packing before this season even ends. The question now is, how much more patience will the Browns ownership really have before making a drastic move?
And that's the way it felt. Offensively, it's just terrible. And they're wasting everything defensively. And what will happen here, because I don't know if they're going to get it fixed. I don't think they're going to get anything fixed offensively. You could put in Dylan Gabriel, or you could put in Shedeur for a different pace, flavor, seasoning, find out whether or not they got it or not.
Ken Carman didn't mince words when breaking down the Browns' struggles. He made it clear that, with the way this team is currently set up, there's just no way they can get anything going on offense. According to him, the system itself is the problem, and as long as it stays the same, success simply isn't realistic. He did admit that bringing in someone like Shedeur Sanders or even Dylan Gabriel could spark some excitement with their passing abilities, but he stressed that it won't matter much if the system continues to hold the team back. Carman warned that if the losses keep stacking up, there's only one outcome. Stefanski will eventually have to go. The Browns, he said, can't afford to keep running an offensive setup that isn't producing results. On the flip side, Stefanski isn't staying silent. Speaking at a recent press conference, he admitted that the Browns are going through a tough stretch and acknowledged that facing the Green Bay Packers will be a huge challenge for the team. However, what stood out was what he didn't say. Stefanski avoided addressing how he plans to fix the offensive struggles, which are clearly one of the biggest issues right now. Instead, he kept things vague, leaving many to wonder if he even has a real solution in place to turn this unit around.
So it's a great challenge for our football team, and it's one of those that we understand what we need to do, but it's one that is going to be a great challenge where you have to be prepared. You have to work really hard this week to understand this team, being that they're an NFC North team and a different.
Even Mary Kay Cabot weighed in on the situation, pointing out that the Browns' entire plan is falling apart. She explained that the organization had set out to build a strong defense, develop their quarterbacks, and get the offense firing on all cylinders. But out of those 3 goals, only one has actually worked: the defense. The rest, especially the offensive side, has been a complete letdown. Cabot warned that if things continue down this path, the Browns could be forced into making major changes within the hierarchy, shaking up the leadership at the very top.
I think that they were going to play good defense this year, run the ball, and then try to get good, clean quarterback play. Only one of those 3 things has happened so far, and that's the really good defense. Now they've got to get the offense up.
Mary Kay Cabot also raised serious concerns about the Browns' planning heading into this season. She questioned why Joe Flacco wasn't given enough time to build chemistry with key receivers like Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman. According to her, the lack of connection between them has been obvious, as we've already seen missteps and fumbles on the field. Cabot emphasized that for this offense to succeed, the players need to be in sync and fully gelled together. But right now, that simply isn't happening, and it's a big reason why the offense is collapsing so badly.
And running, and so far we haven't seen the timing and the consistency yet between Joe and Jerry Jeudy, Joe and Cedric Tillman. He was 2 of 7 targets in this past game. He was stumbling and falling down. So we just haven't seen that yet. And Joe, I don't think he had enough time on task in preseason with these guys. It happened in the final 2 weeks of camp, but that's certainly not enough.
Mary Kay Cabot went a step further, pointing out that Stefanski and Barry may have made a huge mistake by running a four-way quarterback competition. In her view, this approach left no single player with the time or opportunity to truly gel with the rest of the team. She added that this lack of stability has hurt the offense badly, and it's a lesson the Browns' leadership should have learned by now. If they don't correct it soon, Cabot warned, this miscalculation could ultimately cost both the GM and the head coach their jobs in Cleveland.
The four-way quarterback competition, I think, hurt everyone. And you can't do that. I hope they learn their lesson that you can't conduct a quarterback competition in training camp. You've got to get that figured out before you get to camp. You have to know who your quarterback is.
And she's absolutely right, because the Browns' entire quarterback room has been in complete chaos. First, they traded away Kenny Pickett, then brought in another quarterback, only to let him go shortly after. And now they've added yet another emergency option. All of this while already having young talents like Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel waiting in the wings. This constant shuffling hasn't just unsettled the offense. It's been an injustice to the entire team, leaving everyone without clarity or stability at the most important position on the field. And now things are taking an even more dramatic turn, as reports suggest Shedeur Sanders himself is considering leaving. With the Cincinnati Bengals starting the season strong at 2-0, but suddenly losing Joe Burrow to yet another injury, their future is looking shaky. Rumors are already swirling that the Bengals are eyeing Shedeur as a potential solution, and given the current mess in Cleveland, this could be an opportunity he seriously considers. In a situation like this, it wouldn't be surprising if Shedeur saw Cincinnati as the better option and chose to make the move.
But the story of the day, obviously, Joe Burrow has a turf toe injury that will require surgery. He will be sidelined for a minimum of 3 months. Typically, this is a 12 to 14-week recovery period.
And bring in Shedeur Sanders, not saying start him immediately, make him the backup because he's going to be there for the end.
It's becoming clearer by the day that the pressure is mounting heavily on Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Barry, and the walls are closing in fast. Every decision they've made over the last year seems to be coming back to haunt them, creating one of the most turbulent periods the Browns have faced in recent history. The offensive struggles are glaring, and Stefanski's refusal, or inability, to adjust his system is putting him at the center of the storm. The lack of chemistry between quarterbacks and receivers is a direct result of poor planning, from not giving Joe Flacco proper reps with his targets to the mishandling of Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel. Mary Kay Cabot's criticism about the four-way quarterback competition hits the nail on the head. Instead of finding stability, the Browns created confusion and instability. Meanwhile, Barry's decisions on roster building haven't fared much better. Trading away Kenny Pickett, cycling through quarterbacks like it's an experiment, and leaving the team unsettled at the most critical position in football have only worsened the situation. Even the promising signings and defensive strength can't overshadow the glaring failures elsewhere. And now, with Shedeur Sanders rumored to be considering an exit to Cincinnati, the Browns are staring at the possibility of losing their future star before he even gets a real chance in Cleveland. If the Browns keep piling up losses, there's little doubt about what comes next. Ownership cannot afford another wasted season, and if things don't change soon, both Stefanski and Barry could be on their way out. Their time in Cleveland is running out, and the clock is ticking louder than ever. What do you think, Browns fans? Is this the end of the road for Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Barry, or do you believe they still deserve more time to turn things around? Do you think the constant quarterback shuffling has completely doomed this season, or is there still a chance to salvage it? And most importantly, if Shedeur Sanders really does consider leaving for the Bengals, should the Browns fight to keep him or let him walk? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.